I mean, it's vintage or whatever. Hello, host Eric here, talking with famous people, and look who my guest is. It's Nick, the drummer, Janaslani. How cool is that? So, Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you know me?
You were my 6th grade English teacher. And
Prior to that, he didn't speak a word of English.
yeah, exactly. I would just kind of walk around and make loud noises with a lot of hand movements.
And I said, hey, that boy needs to learn how to speak. Nobody had ever thought of it before that.
Guys, I gotta check out.
All right.
What happened to sitting down?
I changed my mind. I've been home late every night, and I'm gonna let down the boys and go be with the woman right now.
That's fine. We understand.
Fair enough.
All right, I can't make it on Friday, but I can do. I kept Thursday. It looks like Tuesdays. open.
Tuesday's probably no good for me. It looks like I'm going to be in Irvine on Tuesdays from now on.
All right, keep me posted.
All right, we'll do.
And good job, Nick. Sound good. It was a pleasure to jam with you, Eric.
David Porter,
Pleasure. I'll keep working on those songs. I'll try to keep working on stuff.
thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. And don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.
Plenty of cheese. Always plenty of cheese.
It's essential.
Yeah, and thanks for dinner too.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of
Thank you,
cheese.
thank you for dinner.
So, Nick, I did teach you English back in middle school. And I remember back then that you were a drummer. And you were good even in middle school. So, except of course I had you infused in my head with your brother.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, Anthony, you're a drummer, you want to play drums? And he's like, that's my brother. I'm like, oh, okay. Nick, hey, Nick, you're a drummer.
Yeah.
So, now you ended up do car stuff, right?
Yes.
And you were interested in making cars go slower or faster? I don't remember which one it was.
Got faster.
Oh, faster, okay.
There's always a need to go faster.
Okay. That seems surprising to me because those two things are not necessarily correlated in a lot of people's heads, music/arts type stuff with car stuff. Do you see them as related at all? I mean, do you approach them totally differently or what?
Well, I was always considered a musical child. Everyone always knew me as the guy who plays drums. And basically how I got started in the automotive industry and building cars and stuff like that was I always thought music never sounded good enough to me when I would hear it on like a speaker or headphones or something like that. So I got myself a job at a automotive stereo shop. So I had no intentions of ever getting into cars at that point. I was still being pushed towards music by my parents, friends, everyone like that. And I would just work on cars, making their music sound up to my standards, to where I liked the way it sounded and everything sounded equally matched. And from working on the musical aspect of cars, eventually I started appreciating how some cars were built. And then someone brought in this 950 horsepower hot rod and said, yeah, this thing goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. I want it to sound good too. I was like, okay, well that's badass. So I want to be able to do that too. So from then on, that's how I got my start into cars. So it like you said, music and cars don't really mix together, but that's kind of how I went from music over.
Were you
cars.
geary about music as well? Like you wanted to get a certain kind of gear and be precise about that? Or did you treat gear differently with music?
I grew up playing on the top of the line drum set and all the top of the line musical equipment, and once you start up there, it's kind of hard to go back down and play on some of the like entry level stuff like that. So then when I took music over into the car world, it's basically the same thing. Pay once, cry once. You pay for the best of the best. You cry once about paying so much, but then once you have it, you don't really want to farther down.
I'll tell you what's a perfect example of that is the mouse. I used to have a cheaper mouse, and then the last time I went and got a mouse, this mouse cost $35. I thought, why would a mouse cost so much? But I knew that my other mouse was uncomfortable, so I went ahead and I got it, and I haven't regretted it once. And you're going to save at least that much on batteries because it's got auto shut off.
There you go.
So you're going to school then to get a certificate for stuff that you already know how to do. Is that correct?
Yes.
More or less? Okay. That's important. That's how we know you're qualified.
Yes.
It's not by actually watching your work or anything like that, or whether or not you can fix the car. Those are irrelevant factors. Do you have the right piece of paper? And when you get this piece of paper, that means you're going to work in dealerships. Is that correct?
Correct. Right now, I'm working at a muffler shop, which is a privately owned building, and I work under cars, welding exhaust systems together, cutting and bending pipe. And I just got that job because I knew the owner of the shop. Whereas once I go to school and get my ASE certification, which is that little perfect piece of paper that has my name on it, I'll be able to go to a dealership and say, hey, I went to school for this, give me a job. As opposed to getting an in with someone that I know.
Right, right. Let's, there are certainly advantages to doing things the official way. As I am returning to my old employer as a sort of subcontractor now, because there is utility in having that formal school affiliation. And the same thing with having that piece of paper, I'm sure, which is gets you places where you might not otherwise be able to get into. So, okay, I understand you're interested in this car thing. You feel competent at it. I'm assuming that you're good at this sort of stuff. And when you look at it, and if I ever say, "Oh, my car is doing something, making this sound," would you be able to say, like, "Oh, it's probably that problem"? Are you good at diagnosis like that?
Right now, there's two tools that I use to diagnose a car problem. One is audio. I can listen to the problem, sense where it's coming from, and go from there. The other option is the official way, as you stated it, which is plugging a scanner into the car, and the car will tell me what the problem is, and I can fix it from there.
So that's new cars have this self-diagnosis thing going on?
Correct. Most cars made after 97 run what's called an OBD2 port, where you can plug in the scanner and the engine will be like, oh, this is what's wrong, and you'll be able to figure it out from there.
Interesting. So, let scope out for me the next 10 years of your life. What do you imagine doing with it?
See, that's a hard question for me to answer, because right now I would say, oh, well, 10 years from now, I won't be able to change much. I won't change much. I'm going to be the same person that I am today. I'm going to love the same things that I love right here and right now. But then I also look back and see how much I changed in just the past 5 years. I only got into cars about a year and a half ago. And a year and a half ago, I would have told you, oh, cars, yeah, they get me from point A to point B. Music is where it's at. So I can't gauge where I'm going to be 10 years from now because everything's constantly changing, interests are changing, so on and so forth.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, you sound totally like an ESTP, which is to say, a wise one, a particularly wise one, but you...
So I've heard.
You sound as though you have some sense of the reality of life, which is that we all operate on some assumption that we are in a moment that will retain most of its qualities as we move forward in time, even though it definitely will not. The context definitely will change, and our priorities are going to change and stuff like that. But nevertheless, we have to act as though on certain things we have a long-term plan. Like you got your piece of paper, you're getting your piece of paper because of long-term plans. I mean, are you somebody who's thinking, I want to buy a house? Are you somebody who's thinking, I want to have a lot of disposable income to do more toy stuff? Or are you thinking, what?
Long-term goal, I want to be in the same situation that my dad is in right now, because yeah, he works long days, but he's working that up to a point where he lives in his own house, supports his own family. My mom hasn't had to work a day in her life, and he will basically be able to just sit back and collect revenue while all of his workers do the work that he's built, basically. So he builds the company, hires the people to run the company, and he takes a step back and
gets the money.
Yeah, gets the money, basically. So that's the long-term plan for me. Go to school, start working at a dealership, work my way up from there, save up, buy my own building, start doing my own work, save up, buy 2 buildings, buy my own house, take a step back, let those 2 buildings run themselves, collect revenue.
Smart plan. Then let's say you get it set up so you got enough revenue coming in, you got millions of dollars a month coming in. What do you do then?
That's more money than I know what to do with at this point. Because right now, me here and now, if I had $1 million, I would spend it entirely on my car. That's just my mental state right now. But like I said, I can't gauge where I would be 10 years from now or 20 years from now where I actually have that money in my hand.
Right.
So there's no accurate.
What do you feel? How do you feel about fame or notoriety? Like, what constitutes achievement for you besides money?
I wouldn't say fame necessarily, as in I want everyone to know me as the guy who does good stuff and like does amazing work, as opposed to I want to be known as the guy. Doesn't make sense because I don't want to be known as the guy who does great work, but I want to be known as the guy who does great work. I'm not in it for fame, but I want.
But do you think the recognition should naturally follow?
Yes.
I mean, I think that's a fine thing to want. This is the thing. The reason I ask the question is because I feel as though there's this weird societal thing where against seeking attention, quote unquote. You know, like there's obviously as somebody who puts up a lot of YouTube videos, I'm seeking a lot of attention, or it would seem naturally to conclude that, and so. I think a lot of the way a lot of YouTube video makers deal with that is by saying, "Oh, I'm trying to help people. I'm providing psychology information to try to help them or whatever." Well, personally, I just want attention. But I mean, I want good attention. I don't want bad attention. You know, I don't want like people to hate me.
You don't want people to tell you to act your age?
I do want that because then they're just setting me up, right? That's just like, here, have some fun, Eric. You know, I don't know. The thing is, I hope whoever, I didn't even put a link to that video at the comment spot. So he'd have to actually, I don't think he's out there seeking out my videos because he obviously didn't like that one. But, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't want negative attention. I want positive attention. But I don't think there's anything wrong with seeking widespread public recognition or something. Inherently.
I mean, the thing with the automotive industry is there's not attention or fame to get.
Right, I know, that's what I'm saying, but you also have these other things in your pocket. You got music, you've got whatever else you got going on. I know you've had social media success in the past before, and so regardless if you have a nice practical plan here in place, fine. But most people have a practical plan in a sense of what they would be doing and what they would be prioritizing as values in their life if they had unlimited resources and no responsibilities, basically. Like what, you know. So I'm just sort of curious as to what values you think are significant beyond just what constitutes achievement, what constitutes like I won, basically.
Being able to just wake up and do nothing for an entire day and collect revenue. That's achievement for me.
But what is doing nothing? Would you just sit in a chair in one spot in silence still?
Doing nothing the way a manager would see it. You know, when you're just sitting there and you're on YouTube, you know, clicking through videos, to your manager that's employing you, they would see that as doing nothing. But in all reality,
you're playing around.
Yeah. So being able to wake up and watch TV for 12 hours and do that with my day, but be collecting revenue at the same time, that is an achievement in and of itself.
That's an achievement.
Getting paid to watch TV? Come on.
You're not getting paid to watch TV.
Well, you're getting paid while watching TV.
You're getting paid despite the fact that you're only watching TV. Like I'm sort of in that situation, relatively. I mean, I'm sitting here at home most of the time making YouTube videos. It's not where I get money from, though. You know.
In a perfect world.
It would be. I mean, I am getting some money from it. I just haven't actually gotten any money from it, but it does say numbers on there, like 16 cents and something.
It's a start.
It is. You know, pretty soon, get $1.
6 years from now, I'm aiming for $5.
See, I think I like to have a big ambition. I want to have a big ambition, which is sort of I want to right now. My current ambition, keeping in mind what you said, is absolutely true for me too. My current ambition is to have more YouTube videos up on YouTube than anybody else in the world. I want to have like 50,000 YouTube videos up.
Hell yeah. That'd be awesome.
It's gonna be hard, but I've already got 450.
To start.
It is. How many videos do you have? When you were making a lot of videos, you made a lot of videos for a while, or what?
Yeah, I want to say I have maybe 60 or 70 videos on YouTube that I've made, but over like 200 to 300 videos, which I'm in, including the ones that I made.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good amount of videos too. I'm trying to brand heavily. I mean, do you have you? What do you feel as though made something successful or not successful for you?
Recognition.
No, I mean, like, what do you think made your videos work?
What made them successful?
Which ones, like the ones you said, oh, this one's really successful. What are the qualities that you think makes a video more likely to get more views and bigger watch time versus fewer views and less watch time?
Honestly, the way I did it was I just paid for advertising.
You paid for advertising?
Yeah. You pay like, I think it was like $7 or $8, and they feature your video on the homepage of YouTube for, I think it's like a week or something.
I'm sure they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that was back.
There's a little more than 7.
That was back when you were still my English teacher that we were doing that.
Yeah, I'm new to it. I had no interest. I spent 1 second on YouTube your whole junior high years probably. So, I mean, but okay, fine. Even so, if you advertise 2 different things, one of them is going to ultimately prove more successful than the other one, beyond just the advertising. What do you think the qualities are that make a video more or less successful?
Basically, the way we found out if a video was going to be successful, or tried to make a video successful, was basically going off of what all the popular YouTube creators, I guess you would call them, video makers, are doing right now. So we would sit down before we would make a video and we would watch all of the popular trending videos and try and pick out certain qualities from each video and put all of those into ours to make this one amazing quality video.
That's very top down.
Yeah.
I would never dream of thinking of you and doing that. It's smart. I mean, it's really smart, but...
Another thing is they call it clickbait. Something that actually like draws your attention while you're watching a video. If it's in the suggested, if they see the little thumbnail of a video, if they see the thumbnail of a video and it looks like something that would be interesting to watch, they're more likely to click on it. If they just see, the little thumbnail is a guy standing going like this, they're not gonna click on it because there's gonna be something right below it that's way more entertaining looking.
Right. Well, I do try to do mostly custom thumbs. I don't know if it's successful or not. But my crazy thumbnails are, I mean, it's like shit like this.
Yeah.
These are my thumbs. Just some of them are. If there's more than one person, I usually leave the natural thumb because I want them to see there's a guest. But I've got a bunch of the ones with Delilah on them do better for sure. Like this one that had Delilah on the other day. Because it's a picture where she looks kind of hot in it, and so this seems to cause people to be more likely to click it. This one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I
You
like
can't see
to
the thumbnail from here, but
carry
anyway, it
You
makes a
look
difference.
so unimpressed right there. You look like everything is just. No, but okay. If you can go back really quickly. Go back to where we can see the actual thumbnail. Okay, right there. You see, that's at Disneyland, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. When you did the actual interview, was it at Disneyland?
No.
But the picture is colorful. It shows Disneyland. Everyone knows Disneyland, right?
All right.
Yeah, they see Disneyland. They see a person there smiling. It's all colorful and happy. Everything's great. They're like, oh, that looks like a fun video to watch, and it's only 6 minutes. Click. I'm going to see what it's all about.
What do you think about thumbnails like this? Like my crazy thumbnails, my branding? Do you think that people just look at that and go, I don't want to click that?
So, when we were making videos and we were doing something called the NR update, which was the Nick and Ryan update, where we would basically, it was like our bullshit news channel that we would do, but we were also trying to brand the hell out of our NR logo and NR update logo. And so the way we did it, and we noticed a steady increase in views with every video that was released, is because we used the same NR update logo in every video.
Right.
It was something that they recognized, but they would see, you know, episode 1, episode 2, and then they go back on YouTube 2 weeks later and see that there's episode 3 and 4 now available, and be like, oh, I haven't seen these yet. Click on those.
Well, yeah, I can't be consistent like that.
Yeah.
I'm unable to
I
do
can
it.
tell.
And also, I think though that you can tell by my thumbnails who talking with famous people is. Like, it's like, you know, you see that, you go, oh, it's that crazy guy again. I think a lot of people just think that. But here's the thing. I believe if I just sort of carpet bomb the hell out of the internet with a bunch of random little videos, all of which have basically some talking with famous people thumbnail on it, at some point you reach a critical mass and somebody's going to like, okay, I've seen so many of these crazy fucking things pass by me in the recommended videos. I'm gonna click one of them. Okay, fine, this one then. This one where he's got 4 heads coming out of him. Fine, I'll click that one. Or this
You see
one.
those right there where it says autonomy debate?
Yeah.
See, that me personally, that is something that I would click on because, you know, it catches the eye.
I am consistent with the debate stuff because that's business stuff. So I mix it together with my personal channel, yes, but I'll always use that thumb. That's my little logo for my business. So I use that for any debate stuff.
Are those right under it? Those talking with famous people with the abstract fractal style images?
Yeah, like those are okay. I don't like those. I think they're kind of boring. I like this one. I would say I left the piano and the girls here because I wanted to say there's 3 people.
Or you can just confuse the hell out of everyone and actually put well-known celebrities in an interview as the thumbnail, and they'll think you're talking with someone like George Clooney.
Well,
and they click on it and they see us.
You're not supposed to do that. There's a rule that says you can't. Your picture's supposed to be representative of the video. I actually just saw that rule recently, and mine aren't representative of the video necessarily. But if it's just branding, I think they don't have a problem with that.
That Back to the Future style one's cool.
Which one is that?
Right there, the one that your mouse is on.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, thank you. Some of them are better than others, you know.
Yeah, but if the video, even if you have a guest on, if you just use these kinds of front pages or thumbnails as the video where it says talking with famous people, and like you said, carpet bomb the hell out of YouTube, they're going to notice a bunch of different talking with famous people, and they're like, okay, well, I've seen that one, but I haven't seen this version of talking with famous people, or I haven't seen this logo, and they'll just click on it.
At least if I get the words in their heads, it's not necessarily a logo, but I want everyone to, when they hear the words talking with famous people, they're not going to think about, like, it's going to be impossible to use a sentence with that phrase in it naturally without thinking of my YouTube channel. I want to make those words unable to be said without associating it with my YouTube channel. You know?
Those are the ultimate goals.
Cool. Well, we're at about 25 minutes. There's about 1 minute and 10 seconds left before 25 minutes. What would you like to say as a final concluding thought on this particular episode of Talking with Famous People?
We spend a good portion of it talking about thumbnails, and I am extremely proud of that.
I'm glad. I am very pleased to have you on the show. You know why? Because, among other reasons, I always love talking to people that I've known and didn't talk to them for years, and talk to them again. It's weird when you knew them as kids and then you come back and you see them as adults. It's weird. But number 2, I have a feeling, and I have a good sort of, I have enough data to draw from. A feeling that chicks like you a lot, and I think that maybe we're gonna get some chicks to watch this episode. I'm talking with famous people because, you know, I have like 80% male audience, 20% female audience. For a long time it was 96 and 4. For a long time it was 96% female, 4%.
You know what? I'll be happy with 12% female audience.
12%? I think I'm already better than 12. Maybe I'm right around there or something. I don't know.
Anywhere in the 12 to 15 range, I'm happy.
All right, ladies, you're welcome here talking with famous people to watch this episode or any episode. Now, I know I'm not quite as handsome as young Nick here, but I have my own certain old man sex appeal for the older ladies out there, okay?